to acknowledge my customers who are on joining. Please welcome. Feel free to chat, as Sarah said. Feel free to us. Team, also thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining colleagues in the bank. Thank you also for joining us. Why are we here? And I believe Sarah has said it a bit in terms of why are we here as why have we invited you as our customers? I think you are stakeholders in terms of the business. We want to pass on a bit of information so that it keeps our businesses afloat. A bigger part of it. So, hearing feedback, and they say feedback is a champion. I think for us as a bank, you are looking for that feedback from yourselves as our customers in terms of how you are thriving in you are thriving in your businesses right now. Today's session will be very critical because we'll be discussing a very important topic, especially to our customers, about accessing financing during crisis. How do you access bank financing during such crisis? So it will be a very pertinent. I would request all of us to have our notebooks in terms of the discussion. I acknowledge that you have gone through two other topics earlier. Surviving today to drive tomorrow. We went through that earlier sometimes last month. Earlier this month, we went through a topic in terms of finance. I think it was an issue of surviving today to drive tomorrow. We went through earlier in the month, and today, as I said, accessing financing through in such pandemics, when you're in such a crisis. So my request is that we interact. Our customers, please take note, and I think we have received very good feedback from our customers based on the topics that we have run in the previous topics that we ran. Just to introduce myself, as I hand over to Sarah, my name is Moses Getau, Head of Business Banking Cooperative Bank. I do take care of all the needs of the MSME customers, all the financial needs of the MSME customers, including the non-financial needs that we are just about to go through. And I also take care of the asset financing needs of our customers. With me is Peter Dumia, who is in charge of non-financial services for us. And Peter, thank you for organizing this. Over to you, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Moses, for that. And thank you for that permission to take off. So now I can take off confidently because I know that I have your blessing. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Moses. I know that you have a lot of important things to tell us this morning as we go through our engagement. And I just pray that your microphone will be clearer because I'll be giving you an opportunity at a later stage to say something. And I know that the customers want to hear you loud and clear. So I'm just encouraging you to work on that as we go along. So thank you very much for taking the time to come and join us this morning. And thank you for honoring the invite. It's one thing to have a webinar organized, but if you don't come on board, then it becomes, sort of meaningless, so to speak. So thank you so much for coming on board. This webinar that we are going through together with the others that Moses has talked about is part of an initiative. It is an initiative that is as a result of a partnership between a cooperative bank and International Finance Corporation. International Finance Corporation, we usually say IFC, is the private sector lending arm of the World Bank Group. So this is a World Bank initiative through IFC. And these webinars that we're going through is a partnership between IFC and Cooperative Bank. And thank you very much, Moses, for introducing us to Peter. And we are confident. Also from the IFC side, we do have officials that are joining us this morning. And earlier on, I had seen Stella Masinde. Stella, welcome on board. And perhaps there are others who have come who I have not seen. Karibuni sana. As Haggai said, this session is being recorded because of that partnership. We also have people all over the globe who are interested in knowing how this partnership is progressive. progressing. So asanteni sana. As we all know, we are going through the COVID-19 global pandemic. It is affecting us here in Nairobi. It's affecting you in Mutwapa, in Mombasa, all over the country, and even in the region, the continent of Africa, and the world at large. And we are now in the third month of trying to deal with the COVID-19, to grapple around the issues and just to make sure that we continue to do business. So these webinars are helping you, strengthening you as an SME owner to get some skills or some knowledge or some information that will help you to get it, to go through this COVID-19 period a bit easier. So we are concerned. We are concerned about the health, of ourselves, our families, our employees, and so on. But for business people, what is at the top of our mind is our businesses. And there's one thing that we do very well, and that is business. We are acknowledging that our businesses have been affected because of COVID-19, and these things are beyond our control. But we want to come and discuss, and as Peter has said, and as Moses has said, there are a number of webinars that we have prepared for you. Some we have conducted, some we are still yet to do. But this morning, we want to consider the effect of money. Money, that's why we're in business. And some of the challenges that we are having as far as money matters are concerned. And we want to discuss how perhaps borrowing could kickstart those ideas that you've been getting as we've been going through the COVID in the last 3 months. And let's see how we can go around that. By way of introduction, I have introduced the partnership, but it's important for me to introduce the technical team. You are seeing me on your screen, but I assure you that I'm not alone. I have a technical team, and that technical team comprises of myself, of Fatma, and Haggai. Haggai, you have heard his voice. He's part of the IFC team, and he will be in charge of supporting me from the background through the IT. Anything related to Mitambo, that is, Haggai's support to me, just to make sure that I can hear you and that you can hear me and that I get feedback, what's going on in your mind. So he'll be helping me to read the chats from the YouTube and so on. Thank you in advance, Haggai, for that. I want to introduce myself. My name is Sarah Mbinji. I am a business owner, just like you, and I've been in business for the last 20 years. Our organization, Leverage, was born on the 8th of August, the year 2000. So this is our 20th year. But out of those 20 years, I have been doing 24 years in consulting largely in financial management and also business management. Out of those 20 years and 24 years, 14 years of those have been dedicated service for SMEs. I just want to assure you that you're in very good hands. I've been, advising, providing business advisory services and also training. I am an IFC certified instructional designer, and that what that simply says is that one of my strengths is development of content, development, customization, and localization, so that it can be content that can be understood within our context here in this country, in this part of Africa, and so on. Secondly, also, I am an IFC certified trainer, and we do have a methodology that we adhere to when we are conducting training. And also, I am a certified business mentor, certified to mentor SMEs by the International Labour Organization, ILO. So I just want to encourage you that I am with you. I love the rallying call of Cooperative Bank. Cooperative says, we are you. And I want to encourage you that we are all going through this pandemic together, and we'll be sharing some insights that can help us to go forward. At this point, I want to ask Fatma. Fatma, are you there? Can you kindly introduce yourself?
Morning. Thank you, Sarah. I look forward to the discussion, and I can see the chat box is busy, so we will have a wonderful time. Over to you, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fatma. So, without further ado, let's go into the content. What we see there in front of us is a screen, and this screen says, "What would your business do with access to additional financing?" One of the things that Moses told me is that Cooperative Bank has set aside some money specifically to assist you as a business person. But the question is, do you see yourself needing that money? So usually in the classroom, when we train, we do not encourage participants to sleep. But this is the one time that Mwalimu Sarah is going to allow you to sleep. I'm going to give you an opportunity to dream, because it is important for us to go through a dreaming exercise. And in this activity, I would like you to envision your business's use of additional funds. If Moses says that there is money, there is funding that we want to give to you if you need it, the question is, do you see what that additional funding would do for your business? Listen to the instructions very well. Just two things. Number one, I want you to close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, I want you to envision what additional finances would do for your business in this time of crisis. What would additional finances do for your business in this time of crisis? And I'm going to my stopwatch, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds to close your eyes and dream, starting now. Wonderful. So I'll ask you to open your eyes. You now have my permission to open your eyes. And the question in my mind is, what did you see? When I gave you the opportunity to close your eyes, what did you see? I would like you to go to the chat box and tell me, how did you see additional finances helping your business in this time of crisis? Kindly go to the chat box and tell us, what did you see? What can additional financing do for your business? I'll give you 30 seconds to write down, and then we'll try to capture what you have written, starting now. Awesome. So let me start with you, Haggai. Do you have anything on your end, your chat box from YouTube? What do people see extra money doing for them?
Sarah, many thanks. I'll let Fatma start because YouTube lags WebEx by 30 seconds.
Okay. So Fatma, do you see anything in the chat box?
Yeah, I can see Khadija Mohammed from Kitale. She says that she would need assistance in her business. She has not advised what kind of assistance, but she says she will need assistance. I'm also seeing that Bana Harrison Muna is saying that they want to know how their businesses can benefit, and also how you can enhance their financial management during this period. What I am not seeing is exactly what do they want to do with the money once this money is disbursed to them.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fatma. I can see you, Grace. Grace says, I see that money helping me to increase my stock. Thank you, Grace. I see also Joseph Chalo. He says, I see that money helping me to restock my businesses. He says that he's involved in agriculture. Carol Mwazi there says, important to think about what to do with the money, with the money, or just borrowing for borrowing. You need to be strategic about it. Thank you, Carol. I see Elizabeth Ndunge saying, I see that money helping me to expand my business. Carol says, mainly for working capital. So it's important for you to see. Yes, Haggai, go ahead.
So sorry, so that we don't leave out the YouTube participants, and happy to report that we are about 80 plus, some joining as far as from Kigali. So Harrison says, I saw an increase in customer base expansion to new market, improve infrastructure. A war, Nimrod, additional finance, more equipment for my business. Jane Mudoka, expanding business. Josephine says, increase in stock. Wilson, increase in working capital. Milka, extra finance can help me meet market demand. As some of customers take goods on credit, so before they pay, I can restock. Henry, expanding business. Caroline, do repairs, value adding to the premises. Jen Gashoka, more opportunities and expansion, and the comments goes on and on. They are trickling in very fast. Sarah, over to you.
Thank you very much, Haggai. Thank you very much, Fatma, for helping me to read what is in the chat box. And I'm very
Sarah, one more.
Yes.
Ian says that he would like to expand, and what I love is that he wants to expand impressively to other locations. Thank you. Over to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Fatma, and thank you, Ian, for that. Thank you very much for your feedback in the chat boxes, and let's keep this going. What we are seeing is that we do have needs, and we are able to crystallize our thinking to see what are those things that we need to do in business. And this course this morning is going to help you to think about what are some of the things that you need to do to position yourself to be able to be clear in your own mind and to explain to the relationship manager, credit manager at the bank, to increase your chances of getting that money so that it can catapult your business to the next level. And as you do business, of course, we talked about profitability and profits. So thank you very much for that contribution. So what do we hope to get out of today's this morning's webinar? Just two key things. Number one, we'll start off with something to do with introductions to know who is with us this morning. And then secondly, we look at the basics of borrowing. So the basics of borrowing, I know there's nobody here who can say that they have not borrowed. We have all accessed credit in one way or another through M-Shwari, through M-Pesa and so on, including, and, upscaling. So we are experienced in accessing credit. So we're going to go back to the basics and now look at them through the filters of the COVID-19 pandemic. Then secondly, we're going to look at the pandemic's effect on lending. And Moses and team are ready to help us to understand what the bank is doing to respond to your need at this time. So at the end of this webinar, you should be able to be very clear in your mind what you need to consider when you're borrowing. What are the borrower's considerations? And then we'll flip the coin around and say, okay, that's what I consider. But the lender, what are they considering? What are some of the things that they consider when they are deciding whether to give me a loan or not? And then we'll look at the ways that the pandemic has affected borrowing, or perhaps introduced more opportunities for us to be able to plug into these funds. What will this webinar do? It will help you to adjust your business to what is going on within the business environment, the global environment in this crisis. This webinar will help you to think out of the box. And we are not starting this, we're saying this is the third webinar. As Moses said, the first webinar, we looked at how to help you to survive and to thrive as a business person. Secondly, last week, we looked at how you can adjust your business plan so that you can cope with what is going on in the business environment. And we saw that it is not business as usual. It is actually business unusual. And as we continue forward, now in this course, we want to see how we can take advantage of borrowing solutions that are available to us. You see, it's one thing not to know that there's something that can help you and help your business, but here we want to see how we can take advantage of borrowing solutions so that they can help us to adapt and to continue forward in our businesses. We also want to view this crisis as an opportunity to take us forward in business. What you see there on your screen are the words of Barbara Corcoran. She is an American businesswoman, just like us. She's an SME, she's a business owner, self-made millionaire. And she says that this crisis that we're going through is a chance for you to take a breath in and to put together a plan for the next year of your business. And what she says is that it is her belief, she has faith that as business people go through this crisis, the ones who are more savvy, technologically savvy like you, who have come on board in this webinar and who are making adjustments in their businesses will be better armed to bounce back into business when, business resumes, one day, one time. We don't know when that will be. But I think it's suffice it to say that this is the new normal. This COVID situation is not going away, anytime soon, but it's important for us to know how to adjust. Some rules of engagement here. Number one, participate. Let's participate. The more you participate, the more you're likely to get out of this training. And that's why we are constantly saying chat box is the medium of communication. So when I ask you, please go to the chat box, please talk to us. We are here for you. Secondly, let's respect each other, because many things we're going to say in this, in this webinar, many things will be said in the chat box. And not all of them may apply to you according to your business and your circumstances. So pick what will work for you, run with it. And what perhaps does not apply to you right now, don't worry about it, park it, and you'll think about it later. Perhaps it may apply to your business one day, one time. Let's also mute our microphones, and I really want to thank you for adhering to the advice that we have been given by Haggai, and I can say, it's quite clear, there's no interruptions in the background, and we're quite happy about that. And also, as Moses said, have your pen, have your paper, and let's note down what you hear in terms of ideas, light bulbs. I know things will be coming on. Let's write them down. Let's capture, and we'll continue to consider those as we go along. In terms of introduction, tell us, where are you joining us from? And what do you hope to get out of this webinar? For those who came in a bit earlier, we had asked this question, and thank you very much for telling us you're coming in from Mombasa, from Mtwapa, from Westlands, from Umoja, and so on. If you're joining us now and you haven't told us, please tell us where you're coming from, and also tell us what do you hope to get out of this training, so that I can make sure that I meet your needs. Let us start off by looking at some basics in borrowing. It's very important for you to be very clear on what the purpose of the borrowing is. And I'm so happy that you said in the chat box, this is what I see the additional funding doing for my business. And that's a great place to start. Now, for you as a borrower, you've told me, I need to restock. I need to expand my business. I need to, I need to, all those things that you told me you wanted to do. Now, the question I'm asking is, why might you need to borrow? What are some of the reasons that would propel you to borrow? So you need to determine those reasons. So directions. Number one, think about the reasons why you want to borrow during this pandemic. And because I don't want to, repeat what we have already done, I was going to ask you to think about the reasons why you would want to borrow in this pandemic, but I believe that you are able to answer that, through what you wrote in the chat boxes. You want to expand, you want to, I can see Jane saying, I want to expand, and so on. So I'll not repeat this exercise because you have already spoken to me and I have heard. What I would say in summary is that it's very important for you to have a very specific reason why you want to borrow. Once you are clear in your mind why you want to borrow, then the next step 2, is to go to your relationship manager. We all have a relationship manager, somebody at the bank who helps us to walk this journey with us. Once you're clear in your mind what you want to do with that money, go and discuss with them. And once you have a discussion with them, it will make things quite easier, and it will make the loan application process even shorter because you are clear in your mind. And we'll go through some of the things that you need to be even clearer in your mind going forward. In addition to what you have told me, these are some more possible reasons why we would want to borrow. Maybe you want to increase your inventory to meet demand. Maybe you're seeing a new opportunity and maybe you want to expand your operations, or maybe you want to upgrade your equipment and that creates a need for you. You need equipment. Maybe you need to work more hours. Point number 3 says maybe you need to meet a cash flow gap. And we know that too well, that COVID has affected our businesses. Demand has gone down. Our ability to collect from our customers has also gone down because they have also been affected. We know people have lost livelihoods, have been sent home on unpaid leave, and all those. That has also affected us in terms of business. And perhaps you're saying, I've not been able to collect as I usually do, or as fast as I was doing before. And now there's a cash gap, a cash flow gap in my business. That's why I need to borrow. Maybe some fixed costs. Maybe you need to pay salaries. Maybe you need to, invest in technology and so on. Generally, when it comes to solutions, when the bank is giving you solutions to meet your need, that need that you have in business, generally, we would classify them into 2 categories: the short-term solutions and the long-term solutions. The short-term solutions is what we call working capital loans. So maybe you're saying, in my business, I do importation, so I need a letter of credit, or maybe I need a letter of guarantee, or maybe I am in the tender business. I need to do a tender. I need a tender bond, or I need a bid, a bid bond. Those are some examples of working capital. They are short-term business solutions. So you need money for that short term. That is what we are calling working capital needs. Then there's also the longer term. Longer term solutions is what we would call investment capital loans. Maybe you want to invest in that equipment. That's a longer term loan. Maybe you want to invest in the purchase of a motor vehicle. That's a longer term kind of a loan. So I know that you're saying you have a business. Why you have a reason why you want to borrow. Now, secondly, when you come to the bank to explain that, they'll give you different solutions, different strokes for different people, different solutions, depending on why you need that money, and they'll give you the best solution, to suit your needs. So once you have decided, I need to borrow some money because of the previous, reasons that we have looked at, some short-term, some long-term. The next step is for you to do some window shopping. Go outside there and ask yourself, if I needed this amount of money, where am I likely to get it from? And this slide here talks about the different options that you have available to you, the cost of those options, what are the terms and conditions, and what are the advantages or disadvantages or disadvantages of each source, each option. So the first option there is personal savings. So if you had been putting aside some money for a rainy day, I have been, in business for 24 years in finance. And usually we advise, even when we do personal finance management training, we encourage customers. It is very important for you to save, to put aside some money for a rainy day. And people would tell me, Mwalimu Sarah, mimi once I get the money, lazima kwanza nijiambie pole, niende ni relax, nikule hiyo pesa kwanza. It is important that that money, you use it in your business, but you also have a culture of savings. So you have your personal savings, which you had put aside somewhere for a rainy day. That rainy day has now come through COVID-19. So in terms of cost, this is not costing you anything because pesa ni yako. Terms and conditions, nothing. Advantage, I can access it easily and I don't have to pay any cost for it. So it's cheap. A disadvantage there is risk of loss. You see, when money is there, there's a way it calls you. Hello, hello. And so the risk of you utilizing that money is much higher. That's what we're calling the loss of risk. Now, we have looked at personal savings, but there's also business savings. And these principles apply also for the business. And I think COVID-19 is teaching us some very important lessons. The importance of a business setting aside some money in savings. And I know for SMEs, we have various challenges around this. Sometimes you and the business are one and the same person. It depends on the legal registration of the business, but it's important for you going forward to have that discipline of putting aside money, business savings, which will occur you one day, one time. So maybe you had some money, you are trading, you are making profits, you are making some money, and you can put it in the money market. You can put it in a short-term, deposit account. You can put it in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and so on. That money is yours. You don't have the same, conditions there for the personal savings also apply for the business savings. As you're doing your window shopping, another option you may consider is friends and relatives. So usually they'll give you, some may say, no, it's okay, you just go sort out your issue and you just pay me whenever. I'm not in a hurry. So that's why we're saying it is, sometimes there's no cost to it. Or even if there's a cost, kidogo sana. Now the terms there are very flexible. Advantages there, very flexible, and you'll get the best value out of it. These are people who know you, they are friends and family. But a big disadvantage there is that kukopeshana, sometimes it creates a lot of friction. And we know that a lot of friendships and relationships have been broken because of broken promises relating to money. So that's a disadvantage. The other source of funding is suppliers. Suppliers are people whom you should guard your relationship. You should guard the relationship of your, between your business and your supplier, because these are people who offer you credit for free. They will tell you it's okay. I will offer a service. I'll render a service to you, but you don't have to pay me now. Unaweza kunilipa mwisho wa mwezi after 30 days. What have they just done? They have offered you credit. Maybe you're in the retail business and you pick some products which you will go and trade with. That supplier who allows you to pick those products with the understanding that you will pay, say, after 30 days is what we are calling a free, credit. Now, an advantage there is that it is inexpensive and it is unsecured. It's actually unsecured, credit. Now, a disadvantage is that, number one, very short term, because 30 days is just like blinking your eye in business. So it's very short term, that's a disadvantage. And secondly, it is only restricted to the service or restricted to the goods. So if I am selling, let's say food, some food products, then it is restricted to only those food products and nothing else. Which presents another option, the banks. The banks can offer you finance, and that's what we're talking about. there's a cost to it. There's a cost to it because that money does not belong to the bank. That money actually belongs to people. These are people's deposits. And so there's a cost to that borrowing. There are different, types of products, and there are different terms and conditions which will apply. But the advantage there is that the money is highly available. Sometimes also when you think about borrowing, it depends on the amount. How much are you talking about? So if the larger the amount, the more the bank becomes an attractive source, to get funding from. Not small amounts which you can get from the chama, merry-go-round, and table banking, and so on. When you want serious amount of money, you approach the bank. Disadvantage, because it is other people's money, there must be a process of vetting, this customer who is given this money. Will you pay back, and so on. Then there are also financiers, people like Mshwari, actually Mshwari through CBA, that is more of a bank. For financials, I would say maybe Fuliza falls in that category. There are people like Enablers, there are people like Kiva, there are people like Savannah Fund, there are people like Zidisha, Growfin, and so on. So different financials can give you that financial assistance that you may need in your business, but the cost of the borrowing very, very high. An advantage is that may be easy to get, minimal requirements. Again, it depends on the amount that we're talking about. Disadvantage, it can easily get you into the debt cycle. And of course, also sometimes as a business, depending on how that arrangement is structured, you could also lose control of your business because somebody else needs to be involved in the decision making. So you have a need. You need to determine, where can I get money from? Now, when you go to the bank, you'll have different products, as I have already said. The bank will give you a different solution for the need that you have. So this slide basically just helps us to understand maybe between the loans and also the lines of credit. So we can look at them one by one. A loan, this is a lump sum of money that you're given by the bank or by the financier, with an understanding that you will pay interest on top of what you borrow, and that you'll make regular payments over a period of time. Some examples: mortgage, car loan, investment loan, maybe leasing loan. You have you're into construction, maybe of the roads, maybe of buildings, and you don't need to buy that equipment. You can lease it from somewhere, but that person needs the money upfront, so you may go for a leasing option. Now this one, these loans are usually better for large amounts, and also they are one-off. Like you want to purchase, you want to do a one-off thing, then we'll be considering a loan. The benefits there's a fixed rate. The interest rates tend to be lower. And in your mind, ukijipanga unajua, I need to pay a fixed amount of money each month, or the quarter, or semi-annually. Very, very clear and easily structured. Some drawbacks: you take it all at once. And once you take it, ni hivyo. That's the end of the story. And then there are larger monthly installments. Now, the line of credit, some people refer to this as revolving lines. This is where you have a facility where the bank allows you to draw money as and when you need it. So you can overdraw, and then you can use that money, and then you repay it, and then you can borrow it again, and so on. So some examples are, you have a credit card for your business. You may be having that line of credit, the one I was talking about. If you're importing, you may need that assistance. It may be an overdraft. It may be letter of a letter of guarantee, for example. So this is better for ongoing the normal business expenses, expenses that you pay in the course of running your business. So They are ongoing, they are small, anticipated expenses come up, hapa na pale, you need to bridge up your cash flow, then you would go for that. Benefits, smaller principal, you take it when you need it. If you don't need it, don't take it. And then you make smaller payments. And the drawback is that the rates will tend to vary from time to time because you're accessing it as and when you need it. And maybe the interest rates also tend to be high, and also the variable monthly payments. So the big thing I would say here is that you will be given a solution based on your need. And that's why it's good to explain clearly what your reason for borrowing. This slide here talks about what should you consider now that you have told me, Mwalimu Sarah, I need money. And we have gone through that discussion. You're clear. You have done your window shopping. You now have you have narrowed down, and you have decided, I'm going to borrow from a certain place. The next thing you're going to do is to ask yourself some questions. What do you need to consider as a borrower? What are some of the things that you need to consider as a borrower? Please go to the chat box and tell me, unapofikiria kuchukua mkopo, what are some of the things that you think about, and especially now during the COVID-19 period? What are some of the things you need to think about? Please go to the chat box and tell me, what are you thinking about? Somebody said we don't just borrow for the sake of borrowing. So what are some of the things that you consider? I'll give you 30 seconds. Please go to the chat box and talk to me. I can see some feedback coming in. Let me start with Fatma. Fatma, what do you see? What are the customers saying?
Great. I see Kennedy saying it's about the repayment capacity in case the original plan fails. So basically to have something. We also have Ian who says it's time as well as expenditure for opportunity. Then somebody else says it's also about taking advantage of an opportunity that has arisen. So this is what they would use the money for. Joseph says whether I'm capable of paying the principal and the interest without fail. Now, there's an interesting question here. Somebody is actually asking how soon the cash will come in. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Fatma. Haggai, what do you see?
So thanks, Sarah. I see Ezekiel saying contracting. Jackie, how long do I need to repay the loan? Jane, strategy of paying the loan. Caroline, think of your business sustainability and if it really needs boosting. Charles, sustained demand for services. Raphael, how to pay flexible with less pressure monthly. Harrison, consideration of consistent repayment plan. So I think quite a number of comments just around the facility structure. Over to you, Sarah, and there are many more that we'll pick up towards the end.
Thank you very much, Haggai, for that. Thank you for those of us who are speaking to us through the YouTube channel and also here at WebEx. And I'm hearing you. And what I'm hearing,
Sarah, there's a very
Fatma?
interesting. Apologies to interrupt. There's a very interesting thing that has come. This is from Duguliza, who says that it actually depends on the interest rate. That's the first thing that I will consider before I take a loan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elizabeth Njunge. Actually, that's her name. Thank you so much for that feedback. So what I'm hearing you saying is that you are considering to borrow. But now I'm hearing you saying, I need to have a plan to repay. I need to be able to make that decision to know what is the cost of the borrowing and so on. So some of the things that I've heard you saying is the length. What is the length of this? This arrangement, and perhaps you could take that to a notch higher and even ask yourself, how long are we going to be in the COVID-19? How long is this going to persist? What about my ability to repay? I hear you. What is the purpose of the loan? What is the cost of the borrowing? What is the borrowing procedure? Is it something I just go into my phone and I just punch a few things and I get the money? Or does it involve me going to the bank? And am I clear what kind of procedure I am supposed to follow? What about, is it secured? Is it unsecured? What about the reputation of the lender? The reputation of the lender also matters. You need to think about that. Picture this. You didn't consider perhaps the reputation of the lender. We have seen some circles, for example, going down, and you took, you took maybe, collateral, and you gave it to that lender, and the lender goes under. What happens? These are some of the things that we need to consider going forward. Now, this next slide just summarizes some of the things that we haven't said. And I heard you saying, I need to consider the interest. How much are you going to charge me? What is the cost of that borrowing? Charges. Am I expected to pay a certain amount for processing the loan? And what about monthly? Is there any charge that I need to, prepare myself to be able to meet? What about the repayment period? We've talked about that. What about collateral? This is the security that I am pledging in case something happens. Usually people do not, very few people, I believe, especially with the advent of CRBs, people who used to borrow money with no intention to pay, that changed when CRB came on board. But sometimes you take a loan. Now, you have every intention to pay, but certain things happen and your livelihood is affected. So is there a collateral, something to secure just in case that happens? And what about the grace period, the moratorium? From the moment when I get the loan to when I start paying, do I have a holiday? Is there a window for me to organize myself to start making sales? Those are some of the things that you need to consider. That is from the side of the borrower. Now let's flip the coin and now go to the lender. What are some of the things that the lender would consider? And this is where it is important for you to have a perspective of these webinars that we are offering to you, because we are intentional and we are systematic about what we are trying to do. In the last webinar we had, we talked about the importance of adjusting your business plan so that you can adjust, you can cope with the changes in different, changes in customer needs and solutions that they want at this time. And if you recall, I took you through a process of thinking about the things that you need to put in place in your business plan. And we looked at how we can pivot on the marketing plan as we consider a change in business model. And I gave you a homework, I gave you an assignment, and I told you, I've started you off with marketing, but you need to go and consider the other parameters. So marketing is the engine of the business. Have you thought about that? What about production or operations? That's what we call the life, and that is what we call the heart and soul of your business, because you're making promises to a customer outside there. But in your business, what have you done to ensure that you're able to deliver on that promise? All those questions are answered in your production plan. Your financial plan, that's what we call the lifeblood of your business. So this is what the lender is going to look at. You will go to the bank, you'll say, I've seen this great opportunity and I need money. Please give me the money so that I can put it in that business and I will repay you. What the relationship manager is going to ask you is, wow, that sounds so amazing. Please give me your written business plan. That will tell them that you have taken the time to think about the different parameters of your business, you have crystallized your thinking, and you have written it down. Business plan. In that financial plan, this is where we are going to ask, the lender is going to ask, that business which is asking me for money, in terms of profitability, is that business profitable? Na tulisema profitability ni uwezo wa biashara yako kuzalisha faida, sio kubahatisha. So that profitability, we're going to look at your business plan and we will see. Secondly, solvency. This is your business's ability to meet payment obligations as and when they fall due. Liquidity. Do you have money to keep powering the business as you go along? Number 3, if you're borrowing, what about your repayment history? In the past, even before COVID, when we were giving you loans, what was your behavior in servicing those loans? So all those things, make sure, I just want to take this opportunity to remind you, take your business planning seriously, especially now in the face of COVID-19. Look at all those parameters, write them down, be clear. When you go to the bank, it will be easier to have a very engaging and value-adding discussion with your banker. Now, we will look at your business plan. And that business plan, please revise it in the face of what is happening in COVID-19. The next thing that the bank is going to look at is what we refer to as the 5 C's, the 5 C's of lending. We want to look at your character. What kind of a character do you have? Then we look at collateral or security. Then we look at your ability to pay. We look at the conditions that are taking place in the market environment and also the capital. So if I can say a few things about each of these. Number 1, character. You have told me that you want to borrow. So you will go to the bank and you will tell them, I would like to borrow. Think about it. What is the first thing the bank will ask you? That person who you're saying, I want to borrow. The first thing they're going to ask is, please give me your ID. Why do you think they're asking you that? They want to know, first of all, who are you? This person, even before we look at your character, wewe ni nani? When they look at that ID, they will see, my name is Sarah. They will see when I was born. So they're beginning to form a decision about me. So for example, I give them the ID and it shows this person is 50 years old. So when they're deciding whether to give, a 50-year-old, whether to give 18-year-old, that information is provided by that ID. And the same way you have a personal ID, also your business has an ID. That's why they'll ask you, please give me your incorporation certificate. That is your ID. Please give me your registration details. That is step number 1. So now they have determined who you are. Are you a Kenyan? Are you a non-Kenyan? They'll be able to tell that from your registration, from your registration details. After they have assessed that, they want to look at your character. That's why they'll ask you, please give me the bank account detail. Then you'll tell them it is 00123455. They'll punch it in. When they punch in, your bank account details will come on the screen. And just by looking at your bank details, they will tell a lot about your character. So if I can give you some tips, number 1, they are looking for cash flow. What is the cash that is flowing in and out of your business? So if you're a disciplined person, whenever you are running your business and you make a sale, unapata pesa, you will capture that money either in cash. In fact, M-Pesa has made it so easy for us to do business. Do you ever remember to transfer that money from M-Pesa into your bank account? That's very important. It's very important that your sales hit the bank account, because that tells me that you are a disciplined person. There are some individuals, business people, you are transacting business, unapatiwa pesa in cash, and then at some point you meet somebody, you say, oh, let's go for lunch. You go for nyama choma, you eat, na hiyo pesa ndio hiyo imeenda. It is important for you to have the discipline of banking money into your account. In as much as they're looking at that money that you're banking, how frequently is money flowing inside your account? Inflow. What about the outflow? There are some people who immediately the salary hits the account. Within less than 3 hours, the account balance is zero. That tells us something about your character. Or maybe you are too deep in debt. It tells us something about the way you manage your life, your cash flows, and so on. And there are some of us actually, we receive phone calls from the bank and they say, we want to give you money. We want to give you an unsecured loan. Why? Because of the character. They say, oh, this person is responsible and there are regular amounts of money that are flowing into their bank account. Another tip which I can give you, bounced checks. In fact, bounced checks they're illegal. But there are some people, business people, when they are doing their normal course of business, because they are desperate to access certain products or services, they release a check to somebody with the promise, go ahead and bank this on the 30th. Let's say you are given a check, you give me a check, and then you tell me, Sarah, don't worry about it, please bank it on the 5th. On the 3rd or on the 4th, I receive a phone call from you. Sarah, please, don't bank this. Just give me a few days. Give me a few days. But by 5th, everything will be okay. I hold on. On the 5th, you tell me, please, don't bank. Please bank on the 7th. Tunaendelea hivyo. When it reaches maybe 10th, because I had also made some commitments, what do? I go and present the check. And because there's no money in your bank, it bounces. So when we look at your bank account and we see incidences of bounced checks, it tells us something about your character. Unapopatiwa loan, even before COVID-19, how were you going about servicing that loan? We will see from your bank details. If, for example, you encounter a difficulty or a challenge, are you the kind of person who calls the relationship manager and says, I'm encountering 1, 2, 3. Please give me some time. Hiyo jukumu ni lako as a business person. Or are you the kind of person who unapigiwa simu from the bank, you don't pick up? You are called by the bank, you change your number. You know, there are some people like that. Is all telling about your character. So make sure that you have a good character. The fact that we are not necessarily looking at CRB reports does not mean CRBs are going anywhere. They are going to remain, they are going to continue to be there, and there'll be that history. Huyu mwanabiashara akona tabia mbaya, anachukua loan na halipi her service. That is about character. The other C is the collateral, which is the security. And here we are saying, what are you pledging in exchange for that money, just in case of anything? And that the value of the security, of course, should be commensurate with what you are borrowing, for example. So what I would caution you is that it is not a good idea to offer as collateral an asset which generates money for you. Because in the event that something goes wrong and you lose that asset and it is your cash cow, what do you think will happen to your business? So be careful about the kind of collateral that you're giving. Myself and Fatma, we have been in business for some time, and we've been in a business relationship since 2009, and we have handled many assignments together. And there's one we were doing for Africa Development Bank, which was assisting women entrepreneurs. So in as much as they were saying, you see, we understand the challenges of women. They don't have the access to the titles and so on. Most likely they're in the name of Mzee. But now in a quest to assist business people, Africa Development Bank has said we have money that we want to lend to business people, but we will give a partial guarantee. Tutakusimamia. The message that I'm trying to bring across is that even if it is unsecured, there is somebody somewhere behind the scenes who is standing in your place. In that example, it was Africa Development Bank. Sometimes, even when the bank gives you an unsecured loan, they are taking the risk on you because you are worth the risk. You are credit worthy. When it comes to capacity to pay, here we are asking, do you have other debts? Do you have other loans that you are servicing? Because now you're asking for a new loan. So that will come into play. And then in terms of the likely income, what kind of income are you likely to get? Because you want to put this money in biashara so that it can generate some revenue for you. Will you be able to generate enough revenue to repay us? That's what that is asking. The next C, conditions there. We all know we are going through COVID-19. We are looking at the conditions. We are looking at the uncertainties. That's why you are asking, how long is this going to persist? That's a condition that is taking place in the business environment. So we are looking at the conditions of your industry, of your sector, of the economy on an overall. And then lastly, we look at the capital. Unataka kukopa pesa, ndio. Okay, good. How much money have you put into that business? The more the money you have put into your business, I take you more seriously. And I can now give you more because you have also put in more. There's a misconception. Sometimes people think that you will go and borrow money, but you don't want to invest in that business. That is also the other thing that we are looking at when we are evaluating, when we are making a decision, whether we will give you money or not. So those are some tips that I've given you as far as the 5 C's. Keep them at the back of your mind when you're going to borrow. Ujipime nguvu nyumbani. Organize yourself to make sure that you have good answers to this, because for sure the bank is going to have a look at them one by one. Lastly, we want to look at the pandemic's effect on lending. And we are seeing that the pandemic has affected all businesses across the board, including the bank. The bank has also been affected. And what we are saying is that we are changing the way we do business. It is no longer business as usual. It is business unusual. And I want to commend Cooperative Bank for the wonderful initiatives that you have put in place. You're making it easier. We don't have to come to the banking hall. Through online banking, we're able to transact. Through mobile banking, we're able to transact, and many other things. But now we want to talk more about, in specific relation to lending. What are some of the things that the bank has positioned for us as business people? And at this point, I would like to ask Moses. Moses, can you come on board? I would like to invite Moses to come and tell us, what is Cooperative Bank doing in terms of giving us solutions in the light of the COVID-19? What is the COVID-19 effect on lending? Moses, are you there? Haggai, can you hear me?
Sarah, can you hear me?
All right. Over to you, Moses.
Thank you. I come up as my my picture comes up. Thank you, Sarah, for that exciting topic. The discussions, I think you spoke more like a banker, not a business person. Thank you for that, and specifically that you are speaking out to the business your colleagues in business. I think you give them very good tips in terms of how they qualify for credit facilities in the bank. But specifically to this, right? And I like what you shared earlier about the 2 needs of a business person. That is basically the working capital or investment capital. And I think basically for business people, those are the 2 needs that you'll be having as in terms of the needs in your business. She may have brought in the issue of stocking. I think stocking is working capital. She brought in the issue of cash flow gaps. That is still working capital. Issues of preparing for growth, that is investment capital. Purchase of an asset maybe into the business, a personal asset, that goes into saying that is an investment capital. So your two basic needs in terms of borrowing then would be working capital or investment capital, both for the business or even for the personal needs. But in terms of now assessing the facilities at the bank, in the bank, Caro has brought in the issue of changes. As a corporate citizen, we are also affected by the pandemic, and we are looking at several things. But basically, the issue of considering your credit request remain more or less the same. So there will be considerations to bring in. Number one is the current business situation. Your business could have been at a high maybe just before COVID, is now low because of the effects of COVID. I think that is part of the consideration that we'll be looking at. We look at the transactions. How are you transacting from into your account? And I think that is what Caro called in now the issue of transactions into the cash flows. How are you? Sarah called of your business in terms of the transactions that are coming through your account. I think the critical thing that you're also considering is basically information. The information that you provide to your relationship manager, the information that you provide to your bank manager will be very critical in terms of how have you been affected as a business person in terms of running your business. I think that is very critical. The other thing is that despite us maybe operating in the environment is we have rest banking hours. We are restricted in terms of movement. We have channels that will enable you to transact. That will be the online channel, the online banking, as she mentioned, the M-Corp Cash, as she mentioned, and several other things that perhaps you consider in terms of supporting you as a business person. We have agents near you, agents near you that will help you in terms of being able to do transactions and even pay your suppliers and all those things that perhaps require as a business person. In terms of there's some people at the back end there. Is to say that as Caro has alluded to, that is to say we are ready to look at your request as a case by case based on your need as a customer. We've also put our eye out there because I think the government has sort of set up some funds for intervention. We are out there to just see how we partner with the government and several other institutions that have come up to say they would want to support MSMEs. In case we get into those deals, I think we'll let you know in terms of how then we intervene. But the current interventions that you're offering are bank-based, and basically those are the support. That will be the support in terms of issues like additional funding, restructuring, and all those other things that perhaps you needed to share. Payment holiday is another support that you're offering to you as our customers. In case you are struggling, in case your business is not doing as well as it used to do previously, we are coming in to support you in terms of the payment holiday. We are coming in terms of maybe reduced repayment schedules. You have been paying 20,000 and you feel that your business can only accommodate 10,000. We are coming in as a bank to say for the period we'll do take that 10,000 as you normalize. And I think importance is to say the point of additional funding. In case you have additional funding, we are there to help you. Important to mention is the one of partnerships. And by partnerships, I mean we have partnered with a number of organizations out there to help us support our customers, especially issues of like motor vehicle financing, asset financing. We have of transaction that you provide your we are also supply chain partnerships with several institutions, meeting the gap between the supplier and the funding and the buyer. So supply chain financing comes to help us in terms of meeting those gaps that will come in because of the of the disruption of the supply chain lines. We have a number of customer-related service measures that we have also taken as a bank, and I think I would just want to mention two. Number one is that you will see us engaging you more as our customer. Basically, we are not really snipping into your business. We just want to understand the impact of the business and how to support you better. So in case you receive more calls than regular, in case you see us visiting you more than we used to visit you earlier, us calling you more than we used to call you earlier, it's just to help us understand how you are running your business and what other support that you offer. So customer service related measures, I think those are the things. You see also us encouraging you to use our channels. Perhaps that we don't want you to come to the bank. Yes, we are welcome to come to the bank, but we are cognizant that we have challenges in terms of movement, in terms of social distancing, but that does not prevent you from doing your normal banking as a customer. So we engage you. You see us engaging you on social media. You see us calling you more often. You see us sometimes, for those we can visit, you see us visiting you more, just because we would want to run and continue doing business together. I think, Carol, I would want to end my presentation there. In terms of the next slides, maybe I'll come in.
Okay, thank you very much, Moses, for those insights. The last point there talks about assistance measures for forbearance, deferments, restructuring of loans in COVID-19. So sorry, what we're saying there is, as a business person, you find that you're doing everything that you can in the book, and you're still finding that you're still finding that you cannot make some payment. Moses, are you saying something?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not me. Proceed, sir.
Okay. So what we're saying is that if you find yourself skipping one payment. Okay. I think I understand what's happening. There's an echo. There's a feedback. What we're saying is that yes, Haggai.
Yes, Sarah. I'm just gonna say apologies for that. And Moses, I think there is another laptop near you. So if you're sitting close to it, you may want to move away. Over to you, Sarah.
Thank you for that assistance, Haggai. What we're saying is that you've tried everything in the book. For one reason or another, you find yourself skipping one payment, that's delinquency. Then you skip more than 1, 2, 3. Now that we're talking about default, what we're saying is that please don't just die with it alone. Talk. The little house you see there is Cooperative Bank, and they're saying we don't like surprises. Communicate with us. We want you to succeed. So Haggai, please identify where the feedback is coming from. Maybe you can mute it. Thank you so much, Haggai. So be proactive. That's what we're saying. If you see things are beginning to go wrong, please contact the bank and speak to them. There's an activity here that talks about the pandemic opening borrowing opportunities to boost your business. And we have already said, and Coop Bank, Moses has already said, there's money available for borrowing. Now, I would like you to take a minute, actually 30 seconds, and just think through the many things that we have said once, from when we began doing the webinar, and just write down one key learning that you have picked away from this webinar as a result of pursuing funding options. Please go to the chat box and tell me, what is this one thing that you have learned today, and that's going to help you to position your business to access that money? What have you learned? What's your greatest, your key learning or your greatest takeaway? Please go to the chat box and please tell me. If if you bump into somebody and they ask you, where have you been? I've been on a call. They ask you, so what do they say? What would you say? Hagai, do you see anything coming in from YouTube?
Thanks, Sarah. Not yet. Give it 30 seconds because of the lag.
All right. Fatma, do you see anything?
And I love what is being said here. Somebody is saying that they actually this is Stephen Owino who says that most of us lack information, and this is the reason why we fail. Now that we've got this information, our business roles pertaining to lending are changing. And yes, we love what you have shared with us.
Thank you. Information is power. Thank you, Fatma, for that. Information is power. And that's why we
Another
are
one.
giving this. Yes, yes, Fatma?
Sorry, Caroline Obungu says that she's benefiting from your training on how to on loan restructure. That's what she picked up.
Hagai, anything from your end?
Yes, Sarah, many thanks. So a couple of comments here. One from Nicholas Rieko says discipline entails everything in business. Monica says powerful presentations and insights. Jackie, it is important to have strategic plans for business no matter how small it is. Charles, adjusting marketing plans during COVID. Monique again says 5 C's. Sharpener Academy Meru. I've learned that banking every sale is very important. This will make my bank statement smart and reliable. Very powerful. David Odero, I'm learning a lot that I shouldn't be quiet when I am stuck in loan repayment. I should talk. The last comment and a lot more coming. I definitely need to have a proper business plan in place. Thanks for the awesome information. Alan from Kigali. Over to you, Sarah.
Wow, Hagai, did you say Alan from Kigali?
Yes,
Did I
yes,
hear right?
yes. Alan from
Wow.
Kigali.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That is music in my ears, that you are getting something that will help you, to run your business better. Thank you very much for that. Planning is everything. So this brings us to the end of our webinar. And I think a good place to end is where we started. And we say that we wanted to consider borrowing basics and the pandemic's effect on borrowing, both for you and also for from the bank's point of view. Now, we say that when you go through this webinar at the end, it should be clear to you in your mind what are the basics of borrowing, including the lending options and the 5 C's. And I'm happy to feedback that the 5 C's, somebody said that the takeaway for me is the 5 C's, and that you list ways that the pandemic has affected borrowing. And Moses did a very good job in showing us what the bank is doing to make things easier for us. So this brings us to the end of my discussion. Just before I hand over to Moses, there are some steps that you need to do outside of the webinar. Number one, you need to come up with a plan. Somebody said strategic plan. That planning is so important. A plan to keep your business profitable. A plan to manage your cash flows and to continue to do business even in the crisis, and not only now, but even in the aftermath. Number two, make arrangements to meet your relationship manager, whether physically, whether virtually. Sometimes tumezoea to go to the bank, tuonane uso kwa uso, ndo tuelewane. Please make those arrangements. Go to the relationship manager, have a discussion with them. Now that you have already started thinking, crystallize your thinking, write down clearly what it is that you want to, what your business case is. Go and present it. One of the things I've had Moses saying from the very beginning, talk to us. Please talk to us. They're waiting for you to talk to them, even as we talk to you. So those are the next steps that you need to take. This is a kind reminder that there's a series of webinars that we are doing in relation to COVID-19. We have already done Surviving Today to Thrive Tomorrow. We did Adjusting Your Business Plan last time. Today we are doing Accessing Finance During Crisis. And I think there are 2 or 3 other webinars that we are going to, conduct, and you will be given more information as that time comes along. We've given you some resources here, which your relationship managers will be giving to you, and you can, go ahead and look through those resources. We have prepared them with you in mind. At this point, I would like to hand over back to Moses to do some, give us some more information, and then we'll have some question and answer, and then close the training. Moses, over to you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Moses.
Yes, please.
Yes, Moses. I don't know. Is there someone else? Logged in near you? Maybe they may want to move away. Or if someone is also logged onto YouTube. All right. Over to you. Thanks.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Moses, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Now, Sarah, you have done well in terms of presenting just like a banker. Those are the things that you'll be looking at. Came out very well in terms of character, collateral, even conditions. Just to highlight a few, is to say that how then to qualify to borrow for our own facility from the bank. And I think the issue of account operations comes out key. And we request that in terms of banking your daily sales. The second thing is the timely repayment on existing loans. That is the credit history. And as I said, that is to say, if you have a challenge, I think always make arrangement with your banker, with your relationship manager. I think is important to let them know the challenge you are facing. So that arrangement is very critical to say that it will help us understand your credit history. The other thing is the repayment ability. We'll be looking at your business, which I think Sarah covered clearly in terms of capacity to pay and your current trading levels. The other thing that we're looking at is the purpose of the facility. What do you want to do with that money? I think it's very critical for the bank to understand exactly what you would want to do with the facility. And I think you hear your banker or your bank manager asking you, what are you doing with that facility? I think that will come out very clear in terms of, is it a working capital facility, as I said earlier? Is it an investment facility, as I said earlier, an asset finance? Is it an overdraft? I think we'll be looking at that from the bank perspective. What you look at is the relation. I think that's a full contract. I think that's very important. I just need to highlight this. When you have a banking relationship, my customers, sometimes it's important to treat it like a dog. Your branch manager, I think they will appreciate knowing everything, because for them to understand the business model, just open up and tell them everything. So that relationship, I think, needs to be very critical, such that your banker, your branch manager knows everything that you are going through as a business person. If you are stocking, I think it's important to tell them that I'm stocking. So that relationship between us and you is very critical, and give us all the information that give all the information that is required. I see some people fearing to pass out the information that also compromises our ability to make decisions. So if you don't give information to the bank will not be able to come up with a decision in terms of the position of your business. Hence, they may not be able to support you well. I think Carol talked about security, but I think for us, it comes in second. We look at the ability. Security comes in as a secondary thing to say that once you have the ability, the purpose is quite clear. We understand you as a customer. Then we go and ask you in case you are not able to pay. What is your second way out? So security comes in secondary. And we even have unsecured facilities, just as Sarah said earlier. We have a number of unsecured. Then we are talking of the other conditions, requirement conditions, documentation and conditions that PAS will be asking you to fulfill as a customer. And those who are borrowed with us will know the process. But the critical thing is that account operations, timely repayment, and if there is no timely repayment, you should make arrangement. The other thing is repayment ability, your trading levels, facility, and that helps us in terms of making the decisions that will be coming through. Maybe Sarah, if you move on to the next slide. This one specifically speaks to the people who are currently borrowing with us, and I think I've kept on talking about the repayment arrangements. If you are borrowing from us, we are supporting you as a bank in terms of looking at your repayment arrangements. As I said earlier, you have been doing well previously, but now you are struggling. As a bank, we are open to looking at your repayment arrangements. I think just present those arrangements to your relationship manager, your branch manager as you requested. I think in terms of that support, we have restructure. We are doing restructure, and the restructure is to say we are giving you at least 3 months holiday in terms of repayment, and more so we match that to the current business and environment. To say my business was paying 20,000, I can now only afford 10,000. I think you are looking at that. My business was paying maybe 15,000. I can only afford 5,000. We are looking at that. I think comes in critical. We are giving holidays for those who are completely out of business. So if you are completely out of business, we can give you at least a period for you to come back to business and continue repaying your facility. I think I've talked of reduced repayments to match the current business reality. I think critical on the discussion today is we are also doing additional funding. That is as per business needs. That is what Sarah has guided us in terms of what does the bank look for. So in case you have to come for additional funding, I think as a bank, you are open to fund you based on the business needs that you're having now. I think that I need to re-emphasize that don't shy away. You may be having challenges, financial challenges now, but if you have a business need as a bank, we are willing to look at your proposal, and we will look at it based on the current business environment. The other thing that you are doing is business advisory, just like what you are doing now. MSME portal, I think you have a number of applications there. Those are the support. That is how we basically supporting you, the borrowing customers from Cooperative Bank. Sarah, to the next slide. This speaks of our current MSME offering. What do we have as a bank for you? And I think you have dealt so much for today's discussion. You've dealt much on the lending solutions up there to say we have unsecured facilities. But I would want to move away from the lending solutions a bit to discuss about the transactions, because as presented earlier by Sarah, is to say that for you to qualify to borrow, you must be having a transactional account, and that account should be receiving your sales. If you are in a business that you do selling on daily basis, if it's a salary, you must be receiving. It must be. So the data collections then will come through a current account. So for you to qualify to borrow from the bank, then you need to have the basic requirement to be an account. For a business person, it will be a current account, and those are the 3 current accounts you will be having there: either a gold package account, a silver package, or a bronze account. So that will be the basic requirement for you to borrow from the bank. So for those who perhaps will be listening to me and they do not have a relationship with us, you opened an account with us, And those 3 package accounts based on the business size or on the business that you're running. And basically to say, for a bronze account is for the people who are in micro businesses. Maybe you are at a startup stage or growth stage. Same to a silver package. You have already a bit established yourself, and you are setting up to like 100 million per year. Gold package is for the more established business person. And you here, please feel free, if you have not joined any of rather subscribe to any of those transactional accounts. Please, they are basically current accounts. They come with several solutions. So that will be the basic requirement. The second thing is what we call the payment and collection solutions. Once you have opened that account, how do you transact into that account? We have enabled Copcash transacting through the mobile. I think that helps you in transacting to that account. You can pull or push money into that account through your mobile phone. You can pay your suppliers. You can pay your salaries through mobile phone. Also, what you call collection for people who have several collections coming through. Those will be people doing maybe like rental. You have several people that you are paying out there. Your suppliers that you are paying out there. Collection will also be for that purpose. It helps you transact into that account. I think critical is to say also we have enhanced our coupon rate, and this will help you in terms of now transacting, paying out your salaries, paying out your suppliers, coupon rate. That is internet banking. You have a new and very versatile platform that comes and very versatile of enabling you to transact. Cop kwa jirani agents. These are banks near you, cooperative bank near you are wherever you stay, your estate, all over your business. And I think for these ones, what you are saying, with the current environment of social distancing, current environment of limited movements, and cessation in some areas, take advantage of Cop kwa jirani to help you transact into your account. Merchant, I think very critical in terms of, say, this will be POSs or PDQs. For a business customer, for MSMEs, a core bank merchant is free. You just need to get a gadget from your bank. It will help you in terms of receiving payments for those who are using cards, because card is also one predominant way of payments or collections in terms of the payments that will be coming through for the sales that happen in your businesses. So for the business people within this call, I think let's visit our branches to ensure that we register for all those services if you are not registered as yet. And for those who have not opened the package accounts, just to help you transact on those accounts, I think just open and register on those solutions. Lipa na M-Pesa is also one of those prominent ways that people are receiving money now. And for us as cooperative bank, we have enabled you to terminate. You are in a partnership with Safaricom, the M-Pesa team. Your M-Pesa corrections into your bank account so that they can help you on the transactions. Also, come in terms of even counting how you, as you look at your transaction data, we'll be looking at the termination from M-Pesa payments. So you can terminate on daily basis. I think that will be critical, and you can even terminate online. Once the customer pays you through M-Pesa, it immediately reflects into your account. So we would request that you also visit your branches to ensure that if you are not terminating on the Lipa na M-Pesa funds or into the bank account, please terminate, as it counts in terms of qualifying for the credit facility. So those turnovers that you sell or it online into the account. The government has encouraged us to go cashless as a cashless economy based on the transmission rates through the hard currency. And my request is that take advantage of these channels that I've talked of to help you do the transactions. Sarah, if you move to the next one. I think this is my last slide, my customers, and I want to call it my call to action. And my call to action to you as my customers is to say, if you are not yet registered under the bank channels, I'm requesting that you register bank channels, the COP online, the COP cash, the correction, Lipa na M-Pesa termination. If you don't have a merchant, please get it, the PDQs. I think, as I said, they are free. It will help you to do the corrections. And you are seeing, actually speaking for myself, for the last, since COVID, I don't think I've ever touched a note, a coin, or even my wallet. I think I only carry a card and I have the phone. I think for wherever I'm going now, I do pay with the M-Pesa, I do pay with the M-Cop Cash. I think those are the things that we need to talk to be talking about. And you see more of your customers saying they have not carried the cash. So please ensure that you register under this on these channels to help you do the transactions. I think that thing is, I would want you also to leverage on these channels in terms of transacting. You can pull money in and out of your, push money into your account and pull out of your account in paying your suppliers. You don't have to carry cash to pay to your suppliers. So please take advantage of those channels. Paying your salaries. If you are paying your employees, you don't have to pay them cash. You can pull the money out from the bank into their bank accounts. And I would also encourage, if your employees also bank them in cooperative bank, help them through e-credit solutions in terms of easing your working capital now. For those who are emergency needs, those will be coming for I think those are burdens that your employees have accounts with cooperative bank. Those are burdens that you can do that they have an account and you are paying the salary through the bank. Will support them through what we call an e-credit facility based on the salary that comes into the account. So you can move out that burden from the business into the bank to help you meet to help you build on your working capital. I think critical is to mention that point of to say, I would want you to raise any additional needs for funding through your relationship manager or your branch managers. So don't shy away. You may be going through some difficult times in terms of the environment, but raise your needs through your branch manager, do a relationship manager, and I'm sure we'll come up with a solution for you. So please raise those needs that will be coming up. Is to say, let's keep safe. As I pick up the questions now, Haggai and Fatma. Any questions, feedback for us for Cooperative Bank?
Actually, quite a number. Haggai, go first. Just go first. Thank you.
Okay, many thanks. I think Moses, I was sharing some few with you as you present. So I see one from Raphael, and I think this goes to Sarah and Fatma, whether you can help him or you can refer him to someone, a professional who can help him with a business plan at affordable fee. There's so many comments here.
Yes, Moses, we certainly can be able to help you. Just channel that information through Moses. We will get it and tutasaidiana.
Okay, I think Moses, the other
additionally, sorry, Haggai, additionally to what Sarah said, I did request that he starts by putting his thoughts down on paper, because this is his plan. This is what he wants to do. So it doesn't matter the language he uses, but he needs to put it down on paper, and he needs to know exactly what he does, and he can thereafter get in touch with Co-op Bank, and then Co-op Bank will assist further. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Moses, the other question is around e-credit. So our client did ask that why the Co-op Bank has switched off or slowed down the e-credit, yet the other banks are offering.
Do I pick that first, or you have others?
Yes, pick that first, because I think we have quite a number, and I'm just trying to filter through.
Okay. Thank you. Maybe before I answer, the credit one is on the business plan. I think I'll ask Rafael to see their branch manager, relationship manager, wherever they are. I think that will be the starting point. And I know we have also trained our bankers in terms of helping customers in terms of designing business plans. So your relationship manager, Rafael, your branch manager will come in handy in terms of assisting you in terms of doing the business plan. And if it's not possible, if they may not do it, they can also give you some professional advice in terms of who to see. E-credit, we say we support to have business. I think critical is not around much with the system, but the system is on and you are to raise in terms of credit facility. We are on and renting before COVID in terms of the renting. So please also, if you have a challenge in terms of you cannot access, please through in terms of your relationship manager at the branch. But in terms of please you cannot access more than what you used to do before. Next one.
Okay. One more question from me before I hand it over to Sarah and Fatma to pick the ones on WebEx. A client is asking whether the Co-op Bank is still giving facilities, and I think the other question relates to the restructure. So a client did ask that they made an application for a restructure, and it's taken some time. And interesting, one of the clients, responded that indeed the restructuring is happening and she's a beneficiary. Over to you.
Thank you, Hagai. Then the restructuring has been answered, and I just want to affirm that our commitment in terms of restructuring to meet the current business. So in case there is a delay at the branch, in case there is maybe some question asked to the customer, I would request that they are asked with the branch manager, the relationship manager, because perhaps we've not handled them wholesomely. We have looked at case by case based on the customer need. Incidentally, we've seen a number of customers also coming to say, I don't want a restructure. I want to get my repayment because I see other business opportunities coming in. So for that customer, my request is that please visit your branch manager. About your application, but it's indeed happening, and our turnaround time around in terms of applications, less than 3 days. You should have feedback to say we are supporting, and actually we supported 100% of those who have come requesting for restructure. We've supported 100% of those who have come requesting for restructure. The issue of giving facilities, I think that is well answered, and my commitment to the business people here is to say, as a bank, we are looking at your request. If you have a need, is to really visit your branch manager, really see your relationship manager. There we are offering credit facilities based on the customer needs, and we are also considering the current business environment, but we are giving out on the need of it. We have even given out more than what the customer needs.
Thanks. Thank you.
Hello, Sarah.
So thank you very much for those questions. Thank you, Moses, for taking up those questions. Thank you very much, Hagai, for picking the questions from the YouTube channel. Thank you, Fatma, for filtering through the WebEx chat box. And I would like to hand over to Moses, who will officially close for us our webinar. Moses, over to you.
So thank you, Sarah. Does that mean
is there another burning question?
So yeah. Sarah, maybe a last one from me. A client is asking, whether there is any package in response to COVID-19, SME package from the bank. Moses, thanks.
Yes, I think we have facilities available for MSME specifically in terms of the business requirements. We do have, and I think, as I said earlier, we are looking out for other partners. I think government has talked of saying they would want to support. I think the mechanism is still not yet there. But for as a bank, from the bank side of it, we do have those packages available for MSME customers. So take advantage, talk to your business banker, your relationship manager, talk to your branches. They have all that information in terms of what support, what interventions can we offer now, and also what we have discussed earlier in terms of the structures, in terms of additional funding, all those in terms of transactions. I think talk to your branch managers, talk to your relationship managers in regard to that.
Hagai, for me, I have a question that says, how is the MSME loan accessed through the bank? At what interest and what would be the maximum amount? Moses, over to you.
Thank you. A very good question. Good question in terms of how is the MSME facility assessed. And I think MSME facility has to go back a bit is to say you need to have a transactional account, and those other considerations that Sarah talked of earlier, the 5 C's. That account needs to be transacting, you need to be in business, and you need to have the basic need is that you need to have an account with the bank. In terms of interests, let me say we are regulated by central bank, and we are now currently at I think 12% in terms of interest. And as a regulated institution, we stick by the rates guided by CBK. So you get the same as those rates in terms of MSME facilities. This one was what, Fatma? Sorry, I didn't pick the last one.
What is the maximum amount that a person can get?
Okay, in terms of maximum for cooperative bank, the single lending, the single exposure, what you call an exposure to a single entity in the bank. Right now, we can look at a case of even up to, I think, 16 billion per person. That depends on the need. So what am I saying? For MSME person, we will not limit you to an amount. We will not limit you to your ability. We will limit you to your business needs. So it's not really to say we have a ceiling, because we, as I said, as a single entity in cooperative bank, based on our core capital, a single need of 16 billion, and I think those will be corporate customers or limits customers. So for the bank, as set out by central bank, we go for 16 billion for a single person.
My last question.
Just before you ask your last question is to say for a business person, it doesn't, for us, we don't look at the amount you're looking for. Whatever amount you're looking for, we look at your ability and the business that you are funding. So you see that people qualifying for 10,000, you people qualify for 100,000, you people qualifying for 100 million, a billion, and so forth and so forth. That I said, to the extent of 16 billion per person. Huh?
Now, thank you very much for those questions. We are far gone in terms of time, and we need to manage that. And I would like to bring this session to an end. I want to thank our partners. I want to thank our cooperative bank, for everything that you have put into making this webinar a success. I also want to thank IFC for all the efforts that you have put in making this a great success. I want to thank my technical team. Thank you very much, Hagai. Thank you very much, Fatma. And, I am so indebted to you guys for making this very successful. And now I'd like to bring the session to an official close. We really want to apologize. We have we have short by 15 minutes simply because we also started, 15 minutes late. But we'll see how to improve on time management going forward. This brings the session to an end, and you're free to log out anytime from now. All you need to do is to click the leave meeting button. I wish you all the very best. You implement, and let's keep the conversation going. Let's talk to our relationship managers. They're waiting to speak to you. Asanteni sana. Moses, you want to say something?
Thank you, Sarah. As we leave is to say we have ranked up very exciting sessions that will be coming up. Okay. And I think into the next session, I would want to bring the bank economists who help us unpack what you are going today, the budget, what opportunities are there within the budget. We'll be inviting you through the relationship managers, the business bankers, to just so that we can unpack that for you in the next session. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Asante sana. God bless you and have a good day.
Bye.